There's an old joke that goes something like this. In Soviet Russia, TV watches you. The third episode of the third season of Netflix's brilliant Black Mirror, entitled Shut Up and Dance, imagines a hellscape in which our phones and laptops are watching us too. What makes it more hellish is that it's absolutely realistic, and now, a recent report from Washington Post says that the FBI can download malware onto your computer that will allow them to access your webcam and spy on you without you having any idea. Usually to start, when your webcam is on, a little green light will flash, which will indicate that it's on, and somebody can watch what you're doing. But they have sophisticated this to the point where you won't even be able to tell. The light will not go off. So, the scenario in Shut Up and Dance isn't far off. In the episode, hackers capture a young man named Kenny, Alex Lawther, masturbating in what he thinks is the privacy of his bedroom, and then force him to carry out a series of ever more horrible tasks. There's a reason Edward Snowden, as portrayed by Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Oliver Stone's Snowden, covered his computer's camera with a Band-Aid. Edward Snowden knows hacking. The U.S. Justice Department's website tells the true story of sextortionist Luis Mijangos, whom prosecutors accused of spying on more than 200 women through their webcams and blackmailing some of them. The department said, having searched victims' infected computers for sexually explicit photos, he threatened to publish intimate photos of his victims on social media websites such as Meta and Instagram for the world to see, if they did not give in to his demands to send him videos or photos of sex acts. This is one of the most gut-wrenching Black Mirror episodes because it could take place in real life today. You may want to stock up on Band-Aids. You like the answer, but yes, it's possible that your webcam is spying on you. Even Mark Zuckerberg thinks so. He has black tape over his webcam. The fears are real, and cam hacking has taken place countless times in the past. In one well-publicized case, Jared James Abrahams, in 2014, spied on more than 100 women through their webcam, recorded them in vulnerable situations, and then blackmailed them with nude pictures. The victims included a former high school classmate, Cassidy Wolf, Miss Teen USA, who reported Abrahams to the FBI. And it's not just hackers who like to peep. In 2010, a school inspectorate in Pennsylvania was caught spying on its students using laptops provided by the school. The board of the institution defended itself by saying that it did install surveillance software on computers, more precisely a remote access tool, but did so only to prevent equipment abuse. Fast forward to more recent years. Internet-connected cameras are now everywhere, not just on the computer, but on phones and tablets, as security cameras, baby surveillance cameras, video doorbells, even as oven cameras filming food being cooked. So if you use a device that's not yours, whether it's from work or school, don't appear in compromising positions in front of it. Of course, it's illegal for someone to record you, but even so, you don't know what programs are installed on that device. And the institution that gave you the computer probably has clear rules about what you can and can't do with it. The real problem is that if your device is infected with malware and someone has taken control remotely, webcam physical covers become useless. Sure, the attacker can't see what you're doing, but that's the least interesting part. Most of the time, our phones film the insides of our pockets, and the webcam films people passing by, or a face looking at the screen. If someone has taken control, that means they can record your microphone, listen to your secrets, and listen to all the conversations around you. That's far more interesting. They can see your screen and everything you do on it, like typing passwords or financial information. They also have unrestricted access to all the information and files on your device. How do you know if someone is looking through your webcam? That's the scariest thing. You don't. In the past, a clear indicator was the camera light turning on randomly. It has been shown, however, that sometimes hackers can turn on the camera without turning on the light. Other clues may come from the behavior of your computer or device. If it slows way down, if you notice programs and folders that you don't remember, if it restarts without prompting you, or if it opens windows and tabs randomly, you may have a problem. However, these are things that only more experienced users notice. A regular user might miss them entirely. There are a few ways you can use to determine whether your webcam has been activated without your permission. A fairly apparent indicator is if the light linked to the webcam turns on unexpectedly, though you definitely don't need us to tell you that. The flaw in that idea is that the lack of a light does not necessarily imply that no one is watching. While some webcams have a hardwired light that will always turn on if a signal is delivered through the camera, many others have a software-driven light, which means that a skilled hacker can turn the light on and off at will. To make matters worse, it's difficult to determine what kind of light your webcam uses. However, not every method that hackers use to eavesdrop on you is very elegant, so pay attention. If the light comes on unexpectedly when you open your web browser or launch an unrelated program, the cause could be a compromised browser extension or application, which you can easily remove. Other, less well-designed spyware can leave traces on your computer. For example, some of them will leave copies of recorded video on your hard drive, generally in the default location where recordings are saved. If you suspect someone is observing you, make sure to check any videos you don't remember recording. There is some good news, however. It is becoming increasingly difficult to become infected with software that will spy on you through your webcam. When applets such as Java and Flash were more widespread in browsers, it was easier to become a victim of this type of malware, including spyware that could possibly take over your webcam. And this might happen just by visiting an infected website. Because of security concerns, Java and Flash are becoming increasingly rare. Furthermore, operating systems are routinely patched on a regular basis, and the more walled garden nature of mobile operating systems makes passive malware detection much more difficult on such devices. Instead, social engineering-based attacks that rely on persuading the user into disclosing information on their own, such as phishing or remote access trojans, are more typical ways to hack your webcam. Furthermore, hackers who focus on breaking into cameras tend to do so in a more targeted manner, which makes sense given that cybercriminals who want to steal financial information frequently aim to cast a wide net and obtain as many victims' account information as possible, because money is money, regardless of who it comes from, right? However, webcam spying is frequently driven by a perpetrator's desire to monitor a specific target, perhaps a business rival, a former lover, or a celebrity whom they believe they can blackmail. That means you could be the victim of a targeted phishing attack or have surveillance software installed on your system while you are not looking. Nowadays, it doesn't take much to make you feel like you're living in Orwell's 1984. Our smart speakers are listening to us. Facebook and other social media platforms are selling and misusing our information. And what about the little cameras on all of our laptops and phones? And you can't blame anyone for being paranoid in today's world. Think about it for a second. Someone from the government or a hacker can unofficially watch your every move in your own home through your webcam. That is scary stuff. This is supposed to be the one place where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. If it helps you sleep at night, you could still cover your camera with a sticker or camera cover. Some newer laptops come with a built-in camera cover, so you can use it only when you need it. However, the most effective way to prevent camera spying is to prevent malware infection. To achieve this, rely on a security solution you trust. Regularly update your device and steer clear of unknown attachments, suspicious links, and questionable applications at all costs. However, keep in mind that nothing is foolproof. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos. We will see you in the next video.